Coming up on TechZilla, hard drive media players, the latest from Seagate and Western Digital. Vizio's soundbar, surround sound from one speaker and one subwoofer for under $350. Plus, the Totally Rad Show's Jeff Cannata gives us the score from this year's Game Developers Conference. So grab yourself a big old plate of barbecue and pour yourself a cold glass of sweet iced tea, because TechZilla starts now. This episode of TechZilla is made possible by Squarespace, GoDaddy.com, and Netflix.com. I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Veronica Belmont.
Welcome to TechZilla, hands-on reviews of the latest tech and how to make the most out of the gear you already got.
Whether you're a beginner or you're tech support for your friends and family, if you've got a question about PCs, HD TVs, online security, or the cheapest gas in San Francisco, we've got an answer. I've got some cheap gas for you.
Oh,
sorry.
Somebody get a bag. Easy. And if we don't, we'll track down someone who does.
Ooh, so I found something pretty interesting today on BuzzFeed. There's a girl on Etsy. Her name is
Etsy.
Digital Soaps. Yeah, it's this great community of people who make crafts and other things that they sell themselves right on the site. But she makes soap in the shape of Xbox controllers, NES controllers, and PlayStation controllers. She also has like a couple like iPod and other ones that are just kind of random. But I got the blackberry scented. Well, it's kind of funny that I got a blackberry scented PlayStation 3 controller.
Interesting.
So it's like double nerdy. Get it, blackberry.
Are you saving it as an object to art, or is it in the Veronica tub?
No, I haven't gotten it yet. I'll bring it in when I get it in the mail. But it's the last one, so you guys can't have any more blackberry flavored PlayStation 3 controllers.
Just bring it in before you use it, because you want all the details to be sharp.
Ooh. I don't think anyone would want to see that. Would you?
Makes me wonder if I shouldn't have used the soap when I was over at your house.
Is that something you'd be into?
I'm all about Dr. Bonner's squeeze bottle peppermint soap.
That crazy face?
It's made in Oregon. It's been made the same way for like 50 years.
It's great soap. I agree with you wholeheartedly. But I just like reading all that stuff in the shower that's written on the bottle.
That part's crazy.
It's intense.
It's
and not tested on animals, which is also good.
You know what? I wonder if there's a Battlestar Galactica like replica in soap format.
Made of soap?
Yeah.
Ooh, did you see the finale?
Yes.
Hoo-wee!
We tell you all about it, but then you'd all yell at us.
Yeah,
if
we're
you
not getting no spoilers. If you haven't seen it on your TiVo or downloaded it yet or whatever
Adama's a Cylon! Just kidding.
That was even funny because people could think that, and now you ruined that part of the story for them. Anyway, but hey, if you guys want to come and yell at Patrick in person, TechZilla is doing a live audience show at the Web 2.0 Expo here in San Francisco. The expo runs from March 29th to April 3rd, and we'll be shooting the show at 3:30 p.m. April 2nd and hanging out for a little bit afterwards. So if you want to catch a rare live TechZilla, here's your chance to do so. Web 2.0 Expo, San Francisco, April 2nd.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Yeah, we haven't done a live one since...
CES?
CES. Yeah.
So actually, the live ones are getting spaced closer together.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's kind of wild.
I guess we do kind of frequent live shows, but now if you're in San Francisco, you get to see it. But hey, our first question of the day is all about upgrading your notebook.
Hi, Patrick and Veronica. I'm interested in upgrading my current MacBook to a new MacBook 2.4 or possibly the MacBook Pro. Is the dedicated card going to make any difference at all in Adobe CS4 or Lightroom 2? As that's primarily my only reason for upgrading.
I wanted to clear something up first before we continue. I said that the soap was flavored blackberry, and Roger wanted me to say that it was scented. You can't actually eat the soap. That would be disgusting.
You could lick the soap.
You could. I mean, sometimes smells are so good that you kind of want to eat them.
Think of smells as flavors.
Anyway, back to your
James
lovely
had a question.
James. Yeah. So I think the dedicated card in the MacBook Pro, it'll give you that performance boost that is helpful for running that software. But a lot of people I know have had no trouble running CS4 and Lightroom 2 on the new MacBooks, the 2 and the 2.4 gigahertz ones with that NVIDIA GeForce 9400M graphics card that's built in there.
One of the things, especially if you work with large files, is putting as much memory as you can in that notebook. And also, you probably want to get it from somebody other than Apple or at the very least, just check, because sometimes Apple's memory upgrade prices are okay, and sometimes they're a wonderful source of revenue for Apple for no particular reason.
And if you do want that MacBook Pro, you can always look for refurbished models. You'll usually be able to find one a little bit on the cheaper side. But one downside that I can definitely see for you for using a MacBook over a MacBook Pro is the screen size.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to want that screen real estate when you're running like CS4 and Lightroom. You could always hook it up to an external monitor, though, I guess.
Yeah, you know, you're not going to be able to power up. Well, I guess you can run a, you know, like 1900. I guess you can get out of it, because that's what mine runs at my desktop when I plug it into the monitor. But yeah, I think screen resolution is, if you spend a lot of time working on the notebook screen instead of working on a regular standalone monitor, the resolution is going to drive you nuts.
Right, right.
There's a decided lack of screen real estate.
Now, when we were talking about this earlier, you mentioned that maybe he would want to wait for the MacBooks or MacBook Pros with the Core i7.
If you're the kind of gal or guy that buys a notebook every 3 years and sits on it for as long as possible, I would say, if you can, wait for the Core i7 MacBooks. Like the mobile Core i7, aka Clarksfield, will be coming later in 2009. Really, if you're spending a lot of money on a notebook, I'd try to hold out until then. Of course, chances are Mac folks will have to wait even longer than PC folks, because that is the way of the Apple. Sorry, but you know, if you're only going to buy one notebook for the next few years, I would try to hold out for a Core i7 if I could, because that's just going to be it's going to be a very noticeable processor performance boost.
But if he's got $1,000 to throw down on a laptop right now, the MacBook will probably be fine for your purposes.
Absolutely, and the refurbished models are a great way to get a bargain.
Absolutely. So we love your video questions, and they're totally easy to make. Record yourself in front of a video camera asking a question. Make sure it's no longer than 15 seconds, although we give a little leeway from time to time. Upload your question to YouTube and email us a link to your fabulous video question with video question in the subject line. Can't wait to see your shiny, happy faces. Ah.
Still to come, we got 2 awesome ways to upgrade your home theater experience: hard drive media players for all that digital stuff you got online and don't feel like putting on the network, and a way to do surround sound without extra speakers. But first,
we want to take this time now to thank one of today's sponsors, Squarespace. Here to tell you more about them is one of the masterminds behind Revision 3, David Prager.
Hey there, it's David Prager, co-founder of Revision 3. I wanted to come on here to TechZilla to thank one of the sponsors that makes the show possible, and that sponsor is Squarespace. If you haven't heard of Squarespace, they're a web publishing platform as well as a hosting platform. What they allow you to do is basically create a website and put it online, and they provide tools that make you able to tool it around to look like pretty much anything you want, as well as all kinds of functionalities that you'd expect from any website. If you've been on the web, you can see all the different things that you can do online, from viewing videos, submitting videos, having a platform to say things, show images, suck in feeds from different sites you might have online. What this allows you to do is use their features to drag and drop and pull in things, change color palettes and all kinds of design features to really customize it and make it look the way you want. It's really cool because it does all of the back-end coding for you and lets you control just the front end and be really in control of what you're doing without really being able to have the technical chops or needing the technical chops to do the back-end stuff. And even better, Squarespace has put together a special deal to get 10% off your entire order for the lifetime that you use Squarespace. If you go to the site, squarespace.com, use the promo code TECHZ, that's T-E-K-Z, you'll get 10% off for the lifetime that you use Squarespace to create your own site, blog, professional business site, anything like that. Check it out, squarespace.com.
Welcome to this week's freebie download pick, a free program that we find useful, fun, or incredibly interesting. This week, SmartDefrag. Here at TechZilla, we've recommended almost a half dozen defrag titles for your PC. Well, we've got one more for you, because defragging your PC is important. It makes for maximum performance. Check out SmartDefrag. Like all the rest, SmartDefrag does the requisite multi-volume and deep file defrag, but SmartDefrag also offers always-on auto defrag, a nifty option that lets you set a specified idle time before defrag begins and auto stops when system's resource usage becomes too high, i.e. you start using your computer again. You also get a scheduling tool, battery power settings for laptop users, the ability to skip files based on size, a range of startup options, and the ability to auto shut down when you have super lengthy defragging sessions. If you want a defragging tool that offers more than just basic defragging, SmartDefrag is an awesome way to go. Set-top media players, Windows media extenders, Apple TV, Popcorn Hour, Roku, it's all about being networked, right? Not if you're Seagate or Western Digital, then it's all about selling more hard drives. We mentioned the new round of hard drive media players back at the Consumer Electronics Show, and they're in the wild now.
Ooh.
And we pretty much get several emails every month about reviewing them. We got a pair in for review. Let me make this super clear. There is no networking here. You're going to need a hard drive, a USB hard drive or a USB thumb drive. Neither one is going to work with protected content like iTunes or Netflix or other online rental services. Both claim 1080. They also work with standard definition televisions, come with a remote control, work with USB drives and thumb drives. And let's talk about the two boxes.
Okay, what do we have here?
Well, okay, first up we got the Western Digital WD TV. Costs about $100. Supports 1080p. It's designed to sit next to, not on top of a USB drive. Basically, you can sit it like this. You can sit it like this, but do not put it on top of your heat-generating hard drive. HDMI and optical audio out along with your standard definition ports. No drive is bundled with this, which at $100 isn't that bad a deal. MK5, H.264, Move, FLAC, and OGG. It actually has a pretty amazing collection of file formats that it supports, and a really simple interface and a really simple remote. Basically,
it's so cute.
It is cute.
It's so cute. It looks just like my MyBook.
It's adorable.
I just want it to sit right on top of my MyBook.
Or you can have them snuggle next to each other.
It's like snuggle. Well, we could stack it like a little birthday cake.
They kind of don't want this
Technology.
on top of a hard drive because of the heat that's generated from the hard
drive. Oh, you think it would make that much heat, huh?
I'm just telling you what Western Digital says.
Yeah, I heard you say that.
I did RTFM. They also say they can use either one of these with USB thumb drives if you want to drag over the latest content. And it actually works shockingly well. I was actually pleased with the performance. There's a lot of low-cost boxes that do a pretty good job with 1080p. The second one we have up here is somewhat larger. This is Seagate's Free Agent Theater. It's $120 in the base version. For a little over $200, you can get it with one of their fabulous dockable Free Agent drives, and that's pretty much the only sort of drive you can fit into the dock right here. Supports 1080i, and there's no HDMI. It does support external USB drives, but no HDMI, no optical audio out. And it's kind of funky that way. So you've got components and you've got coaxial for the audio out. So it's a little old school.
Interesting. So it's bigger and clunkier and doesn't support as many file formats?
I don't know if I'd say it's clunkier. I mean, the closest thing to clunky is that it's only going to support, for the internal dock, it's only going to support the Seagate Free Agent drives. I do like the fact that they have all of the controls on the machine, because if you lose the controls for the Western Digital becomes another shiny black box. If you lose the remote control for the Seagate, you can still operate it there. Right, you know, until you figure out where the cat buried it under the couch or where the baby stuffed it in the bookshelves. No AAC audio files. I think that's one of the biggest problems with this. So MPEG-4 only with AVI or DivX or XVID, not with MOV files.
So no AAC protected or otherwise?
Well, neither one of, pretty much none of these are going to support any form of protected content from anywhere. They're not about protected content. Because almost all protected content requires you to go up on the network, verify the licensing, and do all that jazz. So neither one of these is really going to want to do that. Both of them have a pretty clean and simple navigating interface. They're basically designed, you know, it shows up, you click, you click, you click, you play your music, you play your photos, you play your videos. They both support surround sound out, although finding a coaxial or a regular like RCA jack for surround sound is getting a little harder than it used to be. At least in the stuff I've been looking at lately.
Now, why would anyone want an HD-only box like this?
Well, I can think of a couple reasons. If you travel and you don't want to deal with having to move stuff over a network, or if you've had the sort of like, I'm in the hotel, I'm going to watch a video from my network at home at 3 kilobits a year, and you're never going to get your video download. So, you know, if you want to put a bunch of videos up at the ski house, if you want to travel with videos, if you want to prevent your kids from being able to watch anything other than what's on the hard drive, just make sure they can't find a thumb drive in a computer. And for a lot of people, it's just easier to drag stuff onto a hard drive because they've downloaded a billion hours of video. Now they can put their billion hours of video on a terabyte hard drive, stack it up next to one of these, put it on the TV, and they're good to go. Which
one of these is your personal favorite? I'm kind of leaning towards a Western Digital just because I'm kind of brand loyal in that way. But I just think it's cuter, and even without the controls, I just like the total package here better. Yeah, I've got a lot of love for both Seagate and Western Digital. I've used a lot of products from both companies over the years. I'm really annoyed that there's no HDMI output on the Seagate, which means you are going to have to run the audio on a second cable. And the Western Digital has a lot more file support. So it's been out a little bit longer, and they've actually also gotten their first round of like firmware update for this, and they're offering additional file support. So I like the fact that Western Digital is pushing more and more files. I think it's really cool. Yeah. And hey, while we're on the topic of home theater, I understand we recently got something else shipped in-house for the AV nerditudes out there. The multitude of nerditude. The multitude of nerditude. The multitude of nerditude. You like that? Instead of Twit Army, we're the multitude the Texilla nerditude. Crew. Or Texilla crew. That's easier to say. This is from... Heyo. Surround sound bar. Yeah, actually it's from Vizio, and I'm going to pull the power supplies out.
Vizio's VSB 210 WS soundbar with wireless subwoofer. Vizio's done a pretty amazing job of basically pushing the entire HDTV industry, pushing screen prices down, and actually managed to deliver a fairly quality product. And now they're adding audio devices into the mix.
Nice, nice.
I was fascinated, actually. And there is a small disclosure. Do you want to handle that one?
Yes, small disclosure. Vizio provides the HD TVs that we use on set. That's our disclosure.
That's the big disclosure. So this is just reminding you in case you were wondering where those came from. The new Vizio soundbar sells for less than $350. It's all over the internets now. And I got to say, the idea of a wireless subwoofer, and when I say wireless, there's no connection between the subwoofer and the audio source.
You still have to, plug it in and do all the regular connections.
You still need to plug both these into the wall. Wireless audio tends to be so miserable in so many cases.
Yeah.
I was a little uptight about that. So the soundbar concept, actually, if you want to grab the speaker cover on that side, and we'll just sort of gently nudge this off.
Wireless is an interesting concept because a lot of people are worried about the quality that you get with wireless, especially with sound, but at the same time, so many manufacturers are going towards wireless in every industry and technology that there's no way that we're going to give up all that quality just for that convenience. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to have to raise the bar.
And in a lot of
for that area. Sorry,
nice pun.
Tom Merritt.
Your Tom is showing again. Well, what's nice is if you don't for a Bluetooth audio sucks. It will continue to suck. It will always suck. And there's lots of wireless alternatives that work pretty well. In this case, actually, we didn't hear any breakup, any fragmentation. There was no glossiness, no phasing effects. None of the stuff we kind of associate with bad audio compression on the subwoofer. Even when we were doing horrible things like the opening to Saving Private Ryan or some of the other Batman flicks. But in case the idea of a soundbar isn't clear, basically all of your speakers are on a thin bar or box that goes directly under your HD TV. And basically there's like two little drivers, a tweeter on both sides, and it's essentially the idea is that it's creating a near or as close to a surround sound effect without putting satellite speakers behind you.
We've recommended surround sound bars in the past, I believe, to a few people who had limited space situations and still wanted to have that surround sound feel, or something very, very close to it, but couldn't afford that whole 7.1 system and didn't want to have to hang up speakers all over their room. So this is a good alternative, I think, for a lot of people.
Well, it's a good up to a point, right? It's the audio. I was shocked at how good the audio was, and I shouldn't have been as shocked as I was because you know what? There's been a lot of cheap surround sound systems that do pretty well, but the audio was crisp, it was clear, there was detail, it was a good range, the subwoofer was at a good point. Subwoofer had some kick. I mean, this is not a shoe research like VF3 where it's like a 750-pound subwoofer that has the neighbors running for the earthquake shelter, but in a modestly sized room, it's doing a fine job. And I was actually surprised. I'm not a really big fan of surround sound processing, but SRS has done a pretty good job of what they call True Surround HD. It made a big difference. It didn't make a big difference like hearing bullets or cars going by my head. But what it did do is it created a larger sound stage. So it started with for something that's only like 4 feet across, the sound stage is pretty solid on this. By turning on the SRS surround, it broadened it out. So it's kind of like you have surround-ish audio. So it was a big fat space out in front of you. Did you hear stuff going by you and whizzing by you like in the theater? No. Is it a shockingly good set of speakers for the money? Yeah, I'd say so.
Well, Vizio's always been pretty good with having good quality stuff for, and I'm not being a shill here, it's true. I mean, ever since I was at CNET, we've been recommending Vizio stuff because it's on the lower end of the price spectrum, but it's not like crappy brand quality.
They just got another editor's choice over at PC Mag for a 50-inch HD TV, 120 hertz. It's a phenomenal job. You can pick it up at the giant store, Costco, that I'm in like every other week.
You know that giant store.
That giant store. The big store with the card and the cash.
And the hot dogs.
But they sell them for like, they were selling for like under $1,300 last time I was in there. Roger says it's down to $1,200. One last thing before I go, the mounts are basically designed, it's also a pretty solid idea. Basically, you can either set it on the table in front of you, or you can reverse these mounts. They unscrew here, spin them 90 degrees, and they will hang on the wall underneath your surround sound. Like I said, I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't expect, a lot of the cheap sound bars, this actually was pretty good. Is it a replacement for a 7.1 surround system? No. If you're in a small room and you want something that sounds decent for not much money, this will do a really good job.
We could definitely hear it pretty well from the conference room that you were testing it in earlier today.
Well,
I'm just saying.
It was, you know.
No, you gotta test it somehow, right?
We flogged it with a whole bunch of different formats. You know, Blu-ray audio, primarily doing, you know, Dolby 5.1, but everything we ran through it sounded shockingly good.
Excellent. Well, coming up next, TRS's very own Jeff Cannata is here with a report from GDC 2009. But first,
it's time now for our Netflix-sponsored movie of the week. This week, The Life Aquatique with Steve Zissou. An offbeat, eccentric comedy from director Wes Anderson, Life Aquatic centers on Steve Zissou, a washed-up marine biology and documentary filmmaker whose personal and professional lives have ebbed to a low point.
Supposedly, Cousteau and his cronies invented the idea of putting walkie-talkies into the helmet. But we made ours with a special rabbit ear on the top so we could pipe in some music.
Until he crosses paths with a son he never knew he had. Starring Bill Murray, Owen Wilson, and Kate Blanchett, this Jacques Cousteau homage will have you in stitches, so drop it in your Netflix queue today. And don't forget to check out the other 90,000 titles up at Netflix, including lots of Blu-ray titles with free shipping both ways directly to your home. And because they now have over 40 shipping centers, almost all deliveries happen in a single business day. Netflix plans start from $4.99, but as a new member and a friend of Tekzilla, you can get a no-risk 2-week free trial membership. Check it out today at www.netflix.com/Tekzilla, and don't forget those wwws.
looks like it's time for another websites we just can't get enough of. A website that we just can't stay away from because it's too useful, too funny, or just too darn irresistible. This week's pick? Crap! I missed it! We've all had that moment, standing around the water cooler at work and overhearing that discussion of, hey, wasn't that insert your favorite band here? Concert last night, awesome? It's so frustrating. Good thing for Crap, I Missed It, a website that allows you to keep track of your favorite musicians' album releases, concerts, video games, movies, sporting events, YouTube videos, TV shows, and even book releases by authors you love. Here's how it works for musicians, for example. First, you enter in their name and then select concerts. You then enter in your zip code, and the site will email you whenever your band comes within close range of where you are. Alternately, you can have the site let you know when a new album is released so you won't be the last to know. Probably the most handy feature for me, at least, are the author notifications. I read so many different authors that it can be hard to keep track of all of them. With Crap, I Missed It, I can subscribe to their names and be alerted when a new book pops up on Amazon. No matter how many categories you subscribe to, you'll only get one email per day. If you prefer RSS instead of email, you can do that as well. But feel safe in the fact that you'll never have to say, crap, I missed it, again. The Game Developers Conference, or GDC, is taking place this week in San Francisco's Moscone Center. TRS's Jeff Cannata is there covering the event, and we asked him to give us a lowdown on what's happening this year. Take it away, Jeff.
Thanks, guys. It's Jeff Cannata here from the Totally Rad Show, and I'm at GDC, which is the Game Developers Conference in San Francisco. And the Game Developers Conference, in contrast to stuff like E3 and the Tokyo Game Show, is a place where people who actually make the games we play get together and talk about how they made stuff. So it's more high-level discussion about the way games are made, the way games are marketed, and the way games are produced. Fascinating, interesting panels with a lot of the people who've made some of the best games of the year. In addition to that, there's going to be a bunch of new game announcements and cool exclusives that'll happen here at the show. There are a ton of new and upcoming games that I'm going to get a chance to have my hands on with for the first time, including Dragon Age from BioWare, which is an awesome-looking RPG from the guys that know how to do RPGs. A new Batman game that's coming out very soon looks really, really cool. And a panel that I definitely have to get involved in from Blizzard about the way they create the quests in WoW. Being a huge WoW head, I'm very interested to see how that all comes together. So you really get to see the behind the scenes, the pulling back of the curtain a little bit on actual game design. In addition to that, one of the greatest things about GDC is that there's a big focus on independent games. There's an independent game festival going on this entire week that culminates in an awards ceremony. And in previous years, games like World of Goo and Braid had their start, got their buzz at this show. So I'm really excited to see what new, interesting, out-of-the-box independent games we're going to have at this year's GDC. There's also the sort of Oscars of game development here at GDC. So you'll have all the games of the past year, they're going to be giving out awards, and people like Peter Molyneux are going to be here, Dylan Cuthbert. Really visionary, interesting folks are going to be giving speeches and seminars all week long. So, while I haven't seen anything yet, I am going to check out everything I can this week. You're going to see lots more about it on the Totally Rad Show this week, and our buddies at Co-op are also here at the show. So if you want to see full GDC coverage, be sure to tune in to TRS on Tuesday, and Co-op. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Jeff. And don't forget to catch more of Jeff on TRS. If you like movies, TV shows, and video games, you're going to love The Totally Rad Show.
New episodes every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern at revision3.com/TRS. You know what? There's still more to come, including your viewer questions. But before we do that, let's take a moment to thank one of our sponsors, GoDaddy.com. Think you're smarter than the rest? Prove it, and you can win big. If Smart Space from GoDaddy.com has changed the way you use the internet, the way you blog, the way you do your business, the way you live your life. Create a blog or video story that shows how. You just might win $25,000 in cash prizes and free Smart Space for life. Head over to GoDaddy.com/SSContest and enter now. Don't have Smart Space? See what it's all about and save an additional 15% through April 15, 2009. Just use the promo code SPACE15 and you'll be helping out Tekzilla. Please support us by supporting our sponsors.
Looking for a magical blend of taste and refreshment? Then my custom tea blend, Veronica's Berry Zinger, is just the thing. Check it out at www.adagio.com/Tekzilla. Adagio also has teapots, teaware, and tons of other unique loose leaf teas. A tin of Veronica's Berry Zinger and an Ingenuity teapot would make a delightful gift for dear old grandpa. Get your tea on at www.adagio.com/Tekzilla.
You know, I forgot to show off the Vizio's remote control.
Okay.
You know, they also has buttons on the top too.
Good.
You were just angry about the whole remote control thing before.
I was?
I think you were. Maybe it was Roger. In any case,
what are you talking about?
We have a great question from Dave. Dave wrote in asking, please forgive me for being a bit negative. I was just curious as to why none of the Tekzilla daily videos on CNET.com are downloadable. There are lots of good tips I'd like to download, archive, and share with friends. I like those videos. Is there some other place to download them? Plus, looking at Veronica doesn't exactly hurt my eyes either.
Aww.
Thanks, Dave.
Oh, I'm glad I don't hurt your eyeballs. Sorry, Dave. CNET they're actually unable to offer downloads of Tekzilla Daily because you can get them right here on the Revision 3 website, which is what we want you to go to after you see them on Tekzilla and come check out all our fancy videos here at Revision 3. So go to www.revision3.com/Tekzilla. You'll find all of them in a multitude of different formats.
I gotta say though, if you want to share them with your friends and you want to help us out, it would be awesome. We have, if you go to the website, you can embed our video in your web page, or you can put it like basically a downloadable link in your email, or you can send them to link to the tip or the tip page at revision3.com/Tekzilla. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can download the stuff from our page, you can distribute it, but if they come to us and get it, or you send them that link that's available on the web page at revision3.com/Tekzilla/ whatever the tip you're looking at, you'll be doing us a big favor.
Rock on. Oh, but hey, we had an email suggestion for our friend Orad from last week who was trying to find a good way to back up and restore his iTunes library. Ray writes in, hi Patrick and Veronica, regarding Orad's mess, if he's not using iTunes to organize his music library, there is still a solution. In the library option, he can pick, instead of backup to disk, he can click the Consolidate Library to copy all the music files, and those are the ones that are strewn all about your computer's hard drive, into the iTunes folder prior to the backup.
Very cool.
So that's in case you don't have those checkboxes selected. It'll put everything there so you don't have to worry about missing anything.
I like that.
Now for the backup. I got this tip about a free backup program from CNET. It's called Cobian?
Cobian rocks.
Cobian?
Cobian rocks.
I wanted to say Cobain, but that's not the right spelling.
You can refer to it as Cobain, just nobody will be able to find it.
Okay. He says he personally uses Cobian to back up his data to an external hard drive. It's pretty powerful and it's free. Yes. I just needed to set it up to back up certain folders and tell it to back up incrementally or full in some folders and how often to back up. Other features also available, compressor or not, and other stuff. After that, I never had the problem of thinking which to back up or what. I use the full backup to back up my iTunes folder every month, and it's pretty neat. Cobian has a lot of other cool features, so I suggest that Orad checks them out. Thanks, Ray. We haven't heard back yet from Orad to see what he finally decided to go with, so hopefully that means everything's okay and he got everything backed up and then put on his fresh, clean install of the OS.
We hope so.
We hope so. Let us know, buddy.
And if you're looking for a free backup tool, Cobian is the stuff.
You don't call, you don't write.
And for all of you watching that are confused, we live on your questions. So email us, tekzilla@revision3.com. Tech Help, product reviews, how-tos, the price of tea at Adagio. You ask us, we'll get the info to you. But we need those emails, so don't be shy. Send them in, tekzilla@revision3.com.
Even better, send us in a video question. Think of all the fun you can have and the admiration of all your friends and family when they see your shiny happy mug on our show. Just keep it to 15 seconds, upload it to YouTube, and send us a link in an email with video question in the subject line. Hey, learn how to build the perfect tool for network analysis, penetration testing, or just plain corporate espionage. Hack 5's 505 episode features a curious plush primate housing a hacked router of Doom 1. Doom 1.
Doomies.
Doomies. Okay, this little monkey in the middle just loves your network traffic so much it wants to share it with, well, hackers. Catch new episodes of Hack 5 every Wednesday at noon Eastern Time.
And as always, you can visit our forums at revision3.com/forums. Share your thoughts, ideas, or comments with other fans of the show.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Veronica Belmont.
Till next week, you've been watching Techzilla, and hey, catch us live, Web 2.0 show.
Awesome.
Actually, it's kind of amazing to watch your shoulders pop out.
Dude, I'm Diesel.
No, but you're getting there. You're
ripped.
much more Diesel than
I'm
you were.
Ripped. My guns are like, whoa.
Welcome to Web 2.0 2009, aka Veronica reveals her guns edition of Techzilla.
Okay. No, it's not glitter. It's
Veronica's sporting the
shimmery.
stripper glitter.
I'm not wearing stripper glitter. Let's get one thing clear.
You're wearing glitter eye makeup.
It's not glitter eye makeup. It's just shimmer. It just has shimmer in it.
So the shimmer is not glitter.
No, it's a big difference.
A huge difference.
Big difference.
I have no aesthetic
buddy.
appreciation of eye makeup. This Jacques Cousteau homage will have you in stitches or put your ass straight to sleep. Sorry. Set up for a two-shot. Woo! Set up for a two-shot. Woo! Set up for a two-shot.
Thank
Woo!
you.
Welcome to this week's freebie download pick. You should have put torturous pause in there.
I demand sparkles for this one, for magical. I want sparkles to come out of my fingers. Sparkles. Drink.